So I'm Ra Hokum, and I'm joined by Dave Johal for a preview of that massive night of champions over in Riyadh this Saturday. How are you, Dave?
I'm very
Big
well,
show.
very well. Looking forward to this card. I think this is going to be absolutely amazing. I mean, what a night. Just running through the card. Benavidez versus Yard. Abdullah Mason versus our very own Sam Noakes. Rodriguez versus Martinez. And not to forget Haney versus Norman, Brian Norman Jr. as well. What a card. Just before Christmas as well. I think the Americans call it a Thanksgiving treat. We're not going to be over in Riyadh, but we're certainly going to be keeping you up to date with the action. But what a card! Does this remind you of the old school Don King cards from back in the day, the Champions Nights? Raw? Has it got that sort of feeling to it?
Got that sort of feel, yeah. I mean, there's four of the highest level world title fights there. Yeah, it's maybe not as big as the one they did in February, but it's still exceptional. So yeah, we just give our thoughts on those four main fights, starting with, the headline, as you said, Mexican Monster against our local, well, my local boy, Anthony Yard. Um, Talking to a lot of our media colleagues, they seem to think there's a huge gap, but I don't see it that way. Yes, Benavidez has got the better wins for sure, but he hasn't looked by any stretch of the imagination invincible uh, at light heavyweight, and he's going up against a proven light heavyweight puncher in Anthony Yard.
Yeah, I think look, the fight the world wanted to see was Benavidez versus Canelo. Um, that's the fight that everybody wanted to see. We have still got a great competitive fight on
Hmm.
Saturday night with Anthony Yard. I mean, is it going to be tough for Anthony Yard? Absolutely. Is it going to be tough for Benavidez? Anthony Yard can still hit. He can still punch. He's been in there with the best of the best. He's come up short, but let's not sleep on Anthony Yard. I mean, Anthony Yard is a big hitter. Is he going to be in for a tougher night than Benavidez? Potentially, yes. If he pulls off the win, Raw, it could be one of the biggest upsets of the year. No disrespect to Anthony Yard. If he pulls off the win, it could be one of the biggest away wins for a British fighter on overseas because the whole night is set up for Benavidez to win, isn't it? I mean, we can get into predictions now. And I'll give you two. Who do I want to win? And want is based on flying the flag for our British fighters and being there on Anthony Yard fight weeks and and seeing the growth of this individual and how well he operates. I'd like to see an upset. I'd like to see Anthony Yard win, but I can only it's not being disrespectful, but I can only see a David Benavidez win. How do you see this one going down?
You know what? I really think Benavidez's reputation is based on the fact that Canelo didn't want to fight him. His
The
best
danger man.
wins have been down at super middleweight, where he was often much bigger than his opponents. Like I said, yeah, he's got two good wins at light heavyweight. I mean, his wins have probably been better than Anthony Yard's wins. But it's telling that when the undisputed fight with Bivol was there to be made, he scarpered and sabotaged it. And you could say it worked out well for him in that he's got a more winnable fight. But I don't see him as this invincible fighter. Yes, he's the favourite, but my early prediction is I'm actually going with Anthony Yard to pull it off. I think
I hope you're right.
Benavidez,
I really do hope you're right because I'd love to see that. Sorry to cut you off in your tracks. I would love to see that because one, it's an upset. It brings another belt back to Britain, and it'll be a nice end of the year for Team Anthony Yard and Anthony Yard. I want to see him win.
yeah, that I just think that they both provide dangers to each other. We know Benavidez got that high work rate and Yard is a low volume fighter, but Benavidez is easy to hit. He's been dropped a couple of times by guys that don't hit like Anthony Yard. So I do see Anthony Yard hurting and possibly dropping Benavidez to keep him honest. And I see that. Yeah, that might enable him to nick a decision. So yeah, my early prediction is I'm going to go for an Anthony Yard close points win. So as you
Well,
said, let's hope he does it.
yeah, and let's hope he does pull that one off. What about Sam Noakes and Abdullah Mason? What a
Yeah,
fight as well. I mean,
yeah.
made what did Dev Sani say? Hands made of stone from Maidstone, or words to that effect. I'm butchering Dev Sani's poetry here, but what a great fight.
Oh,
Again, Sam Noakes.
it is it's also it's a perfect fight for both their first world title fights. Absolutely evenly matched. Again, my initial thoughts were Abdullah is going to be a considerable favourite, but when I think about it, I think it's probably based just on the fact that he's an American, and I presume that him being American, he'll be a higher standard. But when you actually look at who they've beaten the same level guys. So they've got to this position from beating other good contenders, but no one elite. And they'll both be each other's hardest fight to date. Yes, Mason's probably the more slick, fluid mover, puts his punches together more fluidly, as Americans often do. But we've seen that he can be clipped and hurt. And when Sam Noakes hits you, you stay hurt. So it's interesting. I think it's close to being a 50-50 fight.
I agree with you. I mean, Abdullah Mason springs to mind in terms of, you know, it was quite funny actually. I was over in New York this year, and I walked past one of the security guards at a venue I was staying in, and the security guard was talking to his friend. He's like, "Oh, did you see the Abdullah Mason fight last night?" and things like that, which was refreshing to my ears because it just shows that boxing is spoken about in casual forums, and I don't think we're quite there in Britain yet. But I think Sam Noakes is is a tough man for Abdullah Mason to beat. I'm going for Sam Noakes split decision win. I think it will be a very close fight. I think it will be very close 50-50 fight. But I think Sam Noakes can pull it off. I think this will be they're both evenly matched. You're absolutely right. It's a 50-50 affair. I've got to go with Sam Noakes on this one. How do you see it, Rob?
Yeah, like you said, it's 50-50. I do certainly see Mason getting hurt in this. Um,
And Sam Noakes?
yes, but not as much because, just looking at him physically, Mason's 21. He's still got that boyishness about him physically. So I see Mason getting hurt, but being from Cleveland, Ohio, they've got a great boxing tradition. And I think when he does get hurt under his dad's orders, he'll have his slippery boxing to fall back on, and I think he will do that and get through and eke out a close points win. So you're saying it split decision to Sam. I'm going the other way, split decision to Mason, and yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all though if it went the other way.
I mean,
So
it was a
yeah,
nice looking at his last fight. It was a nice KO performance, wasn't it, from Abdullah Mason?
yeah.
Um, so a good a good show reel knockout. I just favour. I don't know. I've just got a feeling that Sam Noakes will edge out a points win.
Hmm.
And again, different weights and different walks of life and everything like that. But similar to Nick Ball and the Ray Ford.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Could absolutely be like that. Yeah.
very close nip and top fight. Um, with both men having success. What do you reckon of Brian Norman Jr. versus Devin Haney? I mean that's going to be a good fight. Is Devin Haney are his best performances behind him now? Will this spark this the venom and everything like that? Will this give us a what I'm saying is, will this give us a classic Devin Haney performance? Is Brian Norman Jr. the man that can give us this great fight?
I'm inclined to think yes. I don't think. Haney is anywhere near as mentally affected by the Garcia fight as people claim because he's been willing to take this dangerous fight. And even the last fight, he took Ramirez, who's a world-class operator. And, people talk about how cautiously he fought. Well, yeah, but there's fighters who, after getting stopped or hurt badly, made a career of fighting cautiously, most notably Vladimir Klitschko.
Mm,
So if
post defeat,
this
wasn't it? I mean, that was post knockout Vladimir
it
Klitschko.
was, but I mean, people keep talking about the fact that Haney was dropped what 3 times against Garcia. Maybe he is going to fight more cautiously now, but the fact that he took a fight with Norman, who's going to be bigger and is just coming off a big left hook knockout win,
One of the
suggests to
best
me
knockouts, wasn't it? That
it,
that
it
was
was
a
that was a highlight
great
reel,
knockout.
and that suggests to me him and his team still have confidence in their boxing ability. Um, I think if Haney is going to go with this cautious approach for the rest of his career, he can still be very successful. Won't win many fans, but then he'll win haters. And if, as Floyd Mayweather says, as long as you're paying to hate on me, people might still keep tuning in. So my initial thoughts are that Haney is still one of the elite boxers in the game, and I think he'll put on a very defensive performance. Might stink the place out, but he'll get a points decision. Maybe a jab, move, and clinch type tactics. What about
Yeah,
you?
I'm going for Devin Haney points as well. But just on the Ryan Garcia fight, I mean, people talk about, he was he mentally, uh, not blocked, but was he mentally drained after the fight? Yeah, I mean, look what was coming against him. Ryan
Mhm.
Garcia with his strange tactics, Ryan Garcia drinking on the day of the weigh-in, at the weigh-in, Ryan Garcia coming in overweight. And let's not forget as well, the decision was overturned, but that wasn't. It's sad to say, but that was not, you know, a gentlemanly thing to do. That was not the right way forward. It was almost cheating, wasn't it, in terms of.
Oh, I'll go further than you. I don't think it's almost cheating. I think it is cheating. If you've signed up to make weight and you deliberately don't make weight, knowing full well that the promoters are not going to want to pull the fight that late after all the money they put into it, and that it almost forces your opponent to accept the disadvantage. Well, I think it is cheating. So,
And to floor, yeah, and to floor Ryan Garcia being overweight, sorry, to floor Devin Haney being overweight and everything like that, that's not right. So he's probably wrote off thinking that wasn't even a real fight, which it wasn't. Let's be honest,
yeah,
that wasn't.
absolutely. So, yeah,
I'm mentally prepared for this one. I think he'll put on a good display, and that good display might be a bit cautious, but he'll get the win. He'll edge out the win.
yeah,
But there's plenty of
exactly.
fights left out there for Brian Norman Jr. And then just very finally as well, I've just spoke to Regan over in Riyadh. Regan, if you're watching over in Riyadh, works at Boxing Social. He said, "Look, I'm gassed." I said, "Why?" He said, "I just spoke to Bam Rodriguez. He's
Hmm.
gassed. The fan is still there. Rodriguez versus Martinez. What a fight!
Yeah, yeah.
Fight.
If he is, I mean, I think he's already one of the top pound for pound fighters, but again, this just further solidifies himself and enables him to creep closer to those three unbreakable top pound for pound fighters. Puma Martinez, unbeaten, a world champion, another unification fight, at his tender age of what, 24 is Bam. So yeah, it's going to be a hell of a fight. I think Martinez can make it. I think he can make it competitive, but Bam's special. He's just got everything, hasn't he? So I do see it being competitive. Uh, Puma will have his moments, but I think Bam will sort of break him down and get a
Stoppage.
conclusive stoppage, sort of mid to late rounds.
I was thinking the same thing. I think it will be a BAM stoppage. I mean, look, to all our colleagues out there, enjoy the show. I know George is out there as well. Regan's out there, and a host of other people that we get on with as well. So really looking forward to these fights that are coming up as well. Guys, put down your predictions as well. See, if what you guys have got versus what we've got. Did we get it wrong? Most of the time we do, don't we, Ra, to be fair? Do we just like to give our honest opinion? Um, but Ra, that's been absolutely brilliant. Hopefully you've enjoyed our crash course fight prediction. Stay tuned for this week as well. We've got another show about Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that we're going to be talking about such a fight? Um, and as we've alluded in other shows, it's a Christmas treat for those that aren't going to be watching it. Watch it. It's entertainment. It's on Netflix. It's on a Friday before Christmas, a week before Christmas. Why wouldn't you watch it? Anthony Joshua, the former heavyweight champion of the world, versus the problem child Jake Paul. It's going to be great entertainment. Enjoy it. I know you'll be watching. Ra, you'll be watching, won't you?
Um, I might tune into the Grinch instead, but I'll see what the undercard holds. To be fair, I think that the whole card will be very good, but we'll be discussing that on Friday, as you said. So yeah, but yeah, before that, this weekend, of course, Saudi Arabia, that epic card with those four top level fights. So fans, yeah, give us your views as usual.
Oh, and Ra, you're going to be at Eubank versus Wagner, so you'll be there live in
Yeah,
Brighton. So look out for all that content as well. Busy week ahead of us, but yeah, loads to talk about. Ra, thank you for that. That was great.
Fab. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care.